and bonjour. This is Bruno LARVOL, and you're listening to the podcast, the weekly podcast, LARVOL CLIN, Build in Public. We're going to talk about a recap of all the data and approval in solid tumor in 2024 with Sweta Agrawal, who's head of our operation team here at LARVOL. Sweta, welcome to the podcast. You're now becoming a regular.
I'm happy to join. My pleasure.
So we prepared a number of slides that we shared mostly on social media, and we're going to go over them once again. And the idea will be to walk you through what on our data platform came as the most important approvals, the most important papers, the most important new data in solid tumor, based again on LARVOL CLIN. Please have a look at LARVOL CLIN. Let us know. Let us know what you think, and if you would like to try it, pilot it, send us a message, and we can give you a demo, or we can give you access to the platform as well. Think about LARVOL CLIN as I'm going to give you a 1-minute infomercial about LARVOL CLIN as we get ready on our end. Think about LARVOL CLIN as a Wikipedia or a Bloomberg about cancer data. And by cancer data, we mean specifically clinical trial outcome in oncology. Yeah, that's us. That's LARVOL CLIN. So I'm going to give now back the microphone and the screen sharing to Shweta.
I hope my screen is visible. Okay, so as Bruno said, we will see the different postings we have made, and especially in today's podcast, we will review the solid tumor postings. So we will start with the top 10 FDA approvals that came during in 2024 in solid tumor. Before going on the ratings and the trials or the details we have here, I will like to specify that these ratings are purely based on number of comments that is received on Twitter from DOLs or the oncologists. In LARVOL database, we have collected around 5,000 DOLs or oncologists, and we collect the tweets or reactions posted by them. I will also quickly like to describe what is our process of collecting these tweets. We collect and manually curate the comments posted by viewers on formerly known as Twitter, and then we rate or assign the sentiments to them through AI or through LLM. And we have, as of now, found that LLM is appropriately assigning the sentiments or ratings. In case we find any changes, we can manually override these sentiments. Okay, so now coming to the top FDA approvals. So the most discussed FDA approval in 2024 was in the approval given to Enhertu. This was this it was granted in US as the Enhertu received the first tumor agnostic HER2 directed therapy in metastatic HER2 positive breast cancer or solid tumors, and it gained most attention from oncologists. This approval came from 3 trials: Destiny Pan Tumor 2, Destiny Lung 01, and Destiny Lung CRC2. These are all phase 2 trials from AstraZeneca. As you can see in the graph, most of the oncologists were excited and gave positive comments. Few oncologists or viewers were not excited. They gave negative comments. They said that unfortunately not a great news for, they were worried about the pancreatic cancer population in these trials, from where destiny pan tumor did not provide significant uh, s- uh, did not had a significant endpoint. Next was approval for Imdeltra drug from Amgen. This approval was based on Delphi 301 trial in extensive stage in small cell lung cancer. Uh, this was accelerated approval based on encouraging response rate and duration of response based on the results from Delphi 301. Many oncologists, as we can see here, were positive and welcomed this bispecific drug. Some of the oncologists showed concerns over the adverse events, the grade 3 adverse events with respect to CRS or neurological symptoms. Third approval was for Tagrisa, which was based on a Flora 2 trial in metastatic EGFR mutated NSCLC patients. Here also we can see the duals were quite excited, and but we have a big population of duals who had negative comments also. According to this group of digital opinion leaders, this drug increases hematological and liver toxicity significantly. I will like
A,
to
a quick comment, Shweta, um, about the methodology. So it's not our analyst decision, of course, as you said. It's our AI, our trained AI, that assigns a sentiment to each tweet. And occasionally, if we look at that sentiment, we might actually disagree. And so we do QC the negative in particular. But in aggregate, it still give us to me a fascinating picture. For example, even if we look at the first three, as you said, we can clearly say that there was going to be some people who are going to be negative, right? Sometimes they're going to complain about the cost, or they're going to complain about it. They might even say it's overhyped, or adverse events are more significant than it seems. So there was going to be a band of red. It's always the case. But strangely enough, for the fifth approval for Amtagvi in melanoma. No, that's so odd and a little unusual, really, that it's all green, there's no red, but it's also unusual that there's nobody talks about change in standard of care. And I don't know why, but it might be because the standard of care already had changed and it was confirmatory data. Sometimes that happens, but it's an unusual sentiment of that trial, and I hope I'm not stealing your thunder about that one. So I go back on mute, give you back the microphone. Thanks.
sure. So, if we see the different trials or approvals here, Tagrisso or Flora 2 had the most negative comments. I will like to quote some of the comments made by DOLs here. Um, uh, One of the DOL, Dr. Vinay Prasad, was questioning on the process or the system that FDA follows to approve these drugs. This drug has a high hematological and liver toxicity. Still, FDA approved it. One of the DOL, Autonius Hazim, Dr. Hazim, mentioned that it is not right to approve a drug which has high level of toxicity and without any OS benefit. Um, that's that's what it is. Let's jump to the last approval, that is the Kisqali approval based on the Natalie trial. So Natalie trial was a P3 pivotal trial from Novartis in early breast cancer patients, HR plus, HR2 minus early breast cancer patients. This was like a Kisqali was used with endocrine therapy as adjuvant treatment in this patient population. The results showed sustained reduction in the reoccurrence. Uh, I think it was like something like 28.5% distant recurrence. In all the subgroups also, including node negative disease, the results was quite significant. So based on these trial results, ribociclib was FDA approved in this patient population. Most of the comments were positive. Some viewers posted negative comments over cost benefit analysis for this drug in this patient population. Okay, so we can move on to our next postings that we did was top trials in the different solid tumor cancer area. So this is the top trials according to us in GU cancer, genitourinary cancer. Here, the top of the top trial, the trial receiving most of the comments
It's quite
from.
impressive, by the way, how much of a difference there is between that first trial with so much negative, and then the standard positive trial, like Keynote A38 and Niagara, right? They look like positive practice changing, or at least practice informing trial. Keynote 564 is a little more guarded because there's only a smaller uh, practice changing component, the dark green. And PACE is unusually negative. Usually, it's rare to have such a big segment of red. I assume, and I don't know the data myself, and I'm not a real data analyst, but I assume that it was a negative trial, or at least it got a lot of negative in it, right?
A lot of yes, lot of about 250 comments we received for this trial. Out of that, approximately uh, 30% were negative.
And the negative meaning that is it because the trial did not meet its primary endpoint, or it did, but for other reason, people believe that it's not going to be having an impact on the way they treat their patient.
I think in this trial the toxicity level was higher, and the D was posted with respect to that.
Got it.
Yeah, and by reading the comments from different oncologists, we also, they were a bit upset that the investigators are biased and in favor of the radiation therapy. Um,
Yeah. And interesting enough, that study was not sponsored by pharma. Is that right? I actually don't know for sure. I know we didn't put a logo there. So it's not a
yeah,
standard industry sponsored, or maybe it's indirectly sponsored.
yeah, it's in this non-industry sponsored trial.
Okay.
We can jump to the GI cancer top trials in the GI cancer area. Here also, the top trial that received the most traction, receiving around 200 comments from DOLs, was ESOPEC, which is again a non-industry trial in esophageal cancer. It's the P3 trial. It was also presented at the ASCO as a late-breaking abstract. This trial compared the perioperative chemotherapy to neoadjuvant chemotherapy in patients with adenocarcinoma of the esophagus. Most of the here the big part you see is green, and that to practice impacting. So the DOS mentioned it as a new standard of care therapy. Of course, some of the oncologists were upset and not so excited due to the adverse events and the quality of life data from this trial. Let's go to the top trials from lung cancer. Here we have the LAURA trial, Adriatic trial, Checkmate 816, Checkmate 770, XS 770, etc. Let's take the LAURA trial, which is at the top and received around 400 or so comments from the different viewers. This is the P3 trial in non-small cell lung cancer. It was a global study to assess the effect of OSI following chemoradiation in this patient population. This trial was also part of ASCO 2024 as a late-breaking abstract. In ASCO, the data presented for this drug, that is OSI after CRT, it demonstrated statistical significant improvement in PFS. This drug was also approved based on this trial in September 2024 for this patient population.
I got it. We actually at the end of our time. However, if if I've got to do something a little bit unusual, if anybody is listening today would like us to continue 5-10 minutes to cover the other slides we have, let us know. Leave a little comment on the platform that you're watching us at. And what are the other 1 or 2 pages we have, by the way, Shweta? Maybe our audience will say, no, continue.
Okay, so I had this last slide, which is on the breast cancer top trials. Natalie
Let's do
trial
it.
we have covered.
Let's do it.
And next is Destiny Breast 06, which is a phase 3 trial in HER2 low, ultra low metastatic breast cancer patients. It is from AstraZeneca. So in this trial, TDXT versus investigator's choice chemotherapy was given in HER2 low hormone receptor positive metastatic breast cancer patients. Results showed improved PFS in this patient population. Oncologists had all positive comments and were excited. Few oncologists showed concern over the toxicity. Yeah, so that's it.
Thank you so much, Shweta. A lot of engagement, a lot of people watching. And I want to tell the audience, if you want our slides, let us know, and we will be glad to send them to you. So drop a message on social media and or direct message us, and we'll send you a full recap of 2024 in solid tumor. Also, I think we have another call coming where we'll cover liquid tumor, right? I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be great. Shweta, thank you very, very much. And to everybody's, I hope you had a good a Christmas day yesterday. And we'll see you next time for Build in Public. We like to share informally what we're working on and what we're building at LARVOL around LARVOL CLIN. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.